So, Keir Starmer has gone, and we now have Andy Burnham, who's been crowned Prime Minister of the UK. What does that mean for us, and what lies ahead? Well, time will tell. I know a lot of people were really excited over the weekend when they thought this was going to be the end of digital ID, and we were going to start drilling the North Sea for oil, and all these wonderful things that he's promising. And I've had time to reflect on it and why he's really doing it and what it really means. I also was sharing some text messages with somebody yesterday who's very well informed, and they were saying the reason is because they don't care about digital ID, they don't care about the North Sea oil, they care about war. They care about war with Russia. And if you think about it, digital ID, the way it's being packaged to us at the moment, it was never going to go through. People were always going to refuse to do it. So they gave up on it because they don't need it anymore, because they're going to get the power they want elsewhere. Now, I was sent something by my wife today, and it was a post from the Daily Express, I think it was, and it was about preparing for World War III. This was a post that was actually put out by the Daily Express on their Facebook page about preparing for World War III and what we need to do. It was about stockpiling food, what you need to keep in your house, etc. Are we really at that point now? And unfortunately, I do believe that we actually are. And I believe we're at that point not because we should be going to war with Russia, and I don't think Russia's even got anything to do with the motives behind it. If you think it's got to do with the Ukraine war, it hasn't, because it's about everything behind it, the reasons why the Ukraine war is there in the first place. You know, the reason why we keep ploughing money into it, why we are perpetually in this state of war, and why it's now coming here. Because you've seen this in Ukraine already. When power is given to people in a state of emergency, people don't argue. They think it's for the common good. It's what we need to do to protect ourselves, to protect the future. All of this stuff is forced upon us for our own good. The problem is when that power is given in times of emergency, it's not taken back so easily, is it? It's very easy to give power and control over to people in a state of emergency, and it's not so easy to get that power back afterwards. So if we are on the verge of war with Russia, the fact that it's Russia is nothing more than a technicality. It's an excuse. It's an excuse to gain control and power. And also, you know, if we're at war, then, you know, general elections can be paused or halted completely. You know, they've brought in Andy Burnham, in my opinion, because Keir Starmer was never going to be a wartime leader. He's not strong. He's not confident. He can't deliver a speech. And now you've got Andy Burnham, the crowned king of the North, swooping in to save the day. They're rolling back their position on digital ID because they don't care. They don't need it. Digital ID was only ever the means to an end. It was a means of control. And once we're at war with Russia, they'll have the ability to control us as much as they wish. So they are still trying to reach the same goal. In my opinion, they're going about it a different way now. So I do still believe that later on down the line, digital ID will come in. And I did a video yesterday or the day before saying, you know, digital ID is not dead. The infrastructure is still being built. They're just not putting all the pieces together. It's still very much a story about digital ID. So don't think that it's done. But what do you need in wartime? You need to be able to control the population. You need oil, you need gas, you need all these things. England might be cut off from the rest of the world and supply chain, all of this stuff. So yeah, of course we're going to drill the North Sea because we're going to need it. And the other thing that sort of rang true in my head earlier, sort of an epiphany moment came up, was of course he wants devolution of power. Of course he wants to take some of the operations away from Downing Street and move it to another part of the country. Because if all of our power and all of our operations are based in one place, that's one hell of a target during a war, isn't it? A bit more difficult to hit two targets, or a bit more difficult when the power is spread out throughout the country. It's easier to keep operations going when everything's in more than one place. I heard today as well that they're going to start showing clips in the cinema before movies start about what to do in case of an emergency, stockpiling food and all this sort of stuff. We are being prepped, or we're about to be prepped for war. And that's really scary, because what does World War III look like? I thought we'd reached the end of this warfaring state, or assumed that we would get to a point where we would evolve beyond it. Not that there wouldn't be any wars, just that the act of warfare would start to be very different rather than boots on the ground. We have, there's other ways of warfare, information warfare, sabotage, all this sort of stuff. But apparently, no, we're still at the point where we need boots on the ground and we need to go and kill other men, other women, other children, all in the name of somebody else. How old am I now? 43. Am I going to get conscripted? Am I going to be shoved in the British Army? Are you watching this? Are you going to be called into service to go and die for your country? Are you ready to die for this country that doesn't believe in you, yet you're expected to believe in it? Because I know I'm not. I'm not. I'm not prepared to do it. It's dark times when you actually get to the realization that your government doesn't work on your behalf, it literally works against you. Those are very, very scary times, and unfortunately I believe that those are the times that we're in now. Food for thought. I might be completely wrong. I hope I'm completely wrong. I hope you all comment and go, Digby, you're mental. That's not what's happening. But the more I think about it, the more I realise that is what's happening. Anyway, as I say, I hope I'm wrong. God bless you all. Enjoy the rest of your day, and I'll see you next time.